beautiful jewelry from the most luxurious brands at a fraction of the retail price. Luxury Bazaar has the best selection. Thank you to Luxury Bazaar for sponsoring today's video. Their website will be linked down below. Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I hope everybody is staying safe. You have a full Netflix lineup, full pantry of snacks, and you're not too stressed. This coronavirus has flipped everything on its head, and as a Floridian growing up with hurricane season every single year, I know that waiting is the hardest part, and there's sort of this underlying anxiety everywhere, and you can't really turn it off because even when you don't watch the news, it's all people are talking about and thinking about. We have to stay safe, take the necessary precautions, protect your family at all costs, but at the same time, make the best of it. I know I'm trying to meditate, clean, do yoga, read books that I have had sitting for months that have just been waiting for me to crack open. So this is sort of perfect time. Just trying to make the best of a really bad, unfortunate situation. Yesterday, late in the afternoon, my Charlotte Tilbury order arrived. I'm so happy. So I opened everything up, and this is her Color Theory collection. I think this is so brilliant. I've always said that Charlotte Tilbury sets herself apart because she creates makeup that is intuitive and it has the everyday woman in mind. Everything has simple instructions. It's easy to follow. It's not overly complicated. And these products in particular were designed to enhance your natural beauty. So for every eye color, there's an eyeshadow quad and a corresponding double-sided eyeliner. I love this idea. So I picked these up directly from the Charlotte Tilbury website. They are coming to Nordstrom, and I would imagine Sephora as well, on March 26th. I have the Super Blue Luxury Palette and Magic Liner Duo, Mesmerizing Maroon with the Magic Liner Duo, and I picked up the Copper Charge Luxury Palette. They also reformulated the Feline Flick, so I went ahead and picked up their new liquid eyeliner pen as well. I decided to skip out on the Copper Charge eyeliner simply because it reminded me a lot of the Pillow Talk and then another gold eyeliner that I already own, even though it is beautiful. And then I also skipped out on the khaki green eyeshadow and eyeliner. This khaki green palette is identical to the Rebel palette, which I also skipped. I love those colors. I think on the right eye, they will be beautiful. If you are drawn to green palettes, this is definitely worth checking out. I think it is a very wearable green. It's not so bright jewel toned. It's not an emerald green. So you could get a lot of wear out of it. I have the chart here on my phone. This is from Charlotte Tilbury Training. It's the eye color matrix. So they pair products by eye color. Of course, I'm going to go through, I'm going to swatch all of these eyeshadow palettes on my arm. That way you can see them in action. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the color theory. So the first column is for blue eyes. If you have blue eyes and you want to create a look with color harmony, you would pick up this blue palette along with the blue eyeliner. Now, if you want to create a look for contrast, something that's going to make your eyes really pop and stand out, then you would pick up this Copper Charge palette. I generally live in shades like this. I'm always drawn to these warm tones for that reason. If you have green eyes for color harmony, you're going to pick up the khaki green palette and the khaki green eyeliner. But if you want to create contrast, then you would go with the Aubergine palette. As soon as I saw this in store, I immediately thought this would be beautiful on green eyes. I think that would be stunning. If you have hazel eyes and you want to create color harmony, you would go with the Aubergine palette as well. But then to create contrast, you would pick up the khaki green palette. For brown eyes, if you want color harmony, you'll go with Copper Charge. That will be very soft and pretty. But then if you want to create contrast, you want your brown eyes to really pop, you'll pick up this blue palette. So this is where I want to begin. Since I have the palette and the eyeliner, I'm going to go ahead and swatch these. And each palette has two shimmery eyeshadows, a pop shade, and then a deeper matte. I will say that of these shimmery eyeshadows, they are so buttery, all of them. Every single shimmery eyeshadow goes on like a dream. So here's the pop shade in the blue. It's more of an electric, vibrant blue. But as soon as you swatch it, because it's the Celestial formula, it goes on a little bit more sheer, which I actually think is a good thing. It makes the palette more wearable. Down in the corner, you have this deep navy, and this is a very dark blue. This is the only matte out of all of the palettes that when I swatched it on my arm, I felt like it went on a little bit chalky. So this is something that I'll definitely look forward to testing. Let's take a look at this eyeliner. So the double-sided eyeliners come with a matte and a metallic. I love this because you can really make it your own. You could use the matte eyeshadow on the outside of the eye, go in the inner rim, the waterline, with the metallic, or vice versa. But this is also intended to enhance and pop. It's striking, but it's not distracting. This is the type of eyeshadow palette that I think you can create really beautiful, very wearable blue eyeshadow looks. So I think they did an incredible job. I think if they had gone in with a really bright electric blue, like if this matte was a little bit lighter and brighter, it would be tricky. The fact that it's this deeper navy, you could use this as an eyeliner as well, or just sort of smudge it along the lash line. You would get that hint of blue, but it's not so in your face. Next, let's talk about this Aubergine palette. I know this is best suited for green or hazel eyes, but I think this is going to be stunning on brown eyes. I think it's going to be stunning on blue eyes. This might be the one palette out of all of them that is just incredible. So let me go ahead and swatch it. This first shade up here in the corner, this blows me away. It has a slight pink undertone, like a mauve pink. It is so beautiful. It looks like it might just be sort of like a standard cream eyeshadow, but it's not. This berry shade is really beautiful as well. I mean, look at that. So bright. These shadows are so pigmented. Oh, my favorite eyeshadow is this pop shade. This is worth picking up the entire palette. It is so beautiful. I should have done this earlier, but I know people will have questions, so I just pulled out my Pillow Talk palette. I am going to swatch these berry eyeshadows right on the end. That way you can see. So that's very different. You don't have any overlap with the shades, but one complaint I heard about the Pillow Talk palette was that it's great, except I don't like this end of the palette. So if that's the case, if you don't like those types of colors, I don't think you will like the Aubergine palette in general. And here's the Copper Charge palette. So up here in the corner, it's this light pale gold, very beautiful. And then this shade right here is more of a copper. It's slightly pink, but very pretty. Actually, you know, that's pretty true copper. So pretty. The pop shade is amazing. It's this gorgeous antique gold pop. And then here in the corner is this sort of medium intensity brown. Here's what Copper Charge looks like next to the Pillow Talk palette. Both are beautiful. You certainly don't need both palettes, but they are different, just in case you're curious. I love this Copper Charge palette. It's very similar to probably a lot of neutral palettes that you own. So this may be something that you could easily skip because you feel like you already have something like it. I do as well. I have all of these shades, maybe in different palettes, but I certainly own enough of this color story. But what I love about the palette is that this puts them all together in such a simplified way. I had to have it, and it's one of my favorites. In fact, I'm going to use this palette to create today's look. I scooched in a little bit to complete today's makeup look, and I just pulled up the Charlotte Tilbury Instagram page, and look what I found. This gorgeous eye look using the Copper Charge palette. I think the model has a deeper skin tone than I have. She certainly has a different eye color, but this is sort of my inspiration for today's look. So picking up a fluffy brush, this one is stained, but it is clean. I'm going to go in this shade right here as light as I possibly can. I set out to create a look using just copper charge, but as I sat here blending, I figured, you know what? No, I need to get more creative, so I'm actually gonna pick up this Aubergine palette now. And I have this flat, traditional eyeshadow brush. First, I'm gonna go into this shade. I'm really tempted to use that pop. That's why I wanted to pick this up. But this is gonna go on the inner lid. Oh, look at that. Just one little touch. It's so beautiful. Same brush, I'm going to pick up this shade right here. This really pretty aubergine. It sounds so bougie, doesn't it? Aubergine. This is just schooling on the outer half of the lid. Picking up the blue eyeshadow palette and this little precision brush, and I'm going to take this eyeshadow and I'm going to run this gold underneath my lower lash line. When I get to the inner corner, I'm picking up this light champagne gold and I'm going to put that right in the inside. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you may know that I hated the original Feline Flick. I would consider that one of Charlotte Tilbury's worst products. Nothing about it I liked. I didn't think it lasted a very long time. I struggled every single time I used it from beginning to end. One of the worst products that I ever tried. So this is supposed to be a new pen, new formula. Everything is supposed to be new and better. We shall see. I wish I had the old one. I don't remember what it looked like, if it looked like it had this type of sponge tip. Oh, wow. Yep, it's better. So much better. Oh my gosh. What an upgrade. This new Feline Flick is so much better than the old one. Oh my goodness, wow. The old Feline Flick had such a hard tip. It did not move or sway or budge at all, so it just sort of dragged along the lash line and it just created like little skip marks. It just was terrible. I could never get a crisp line. And I thought maybe once I used it a while, I used it a couple times, it would get a little bit softer and more pliable. That never happened. This is nice and pliable. It went on so smooth, really fast and easy. This is what I'm used to in an eyeliner pen. I really like it. I'm really happy with this. The new Feline Flick is amazing, and they also came out with a dark brown. So in case you don't really like black liquid eyeliner, you want something a little bit softer, more subtle, they now have a different shade. So this is Panther, this is the original black. You have both options on the website. Now I want to do something a little bit different, so I am going to go in the waterline, and I'm going to pick up this Aubergine eyeliner, and I'm going to go in with the metallic shade right in the waterline. I will say they're not as smooth as maybe the retractable eyeliners from Chanel or something along those lines. So they are better to be used in the waterline. I feel like every time I go to line the outside or like the top lash line, for example, I'm sort of dragging a little bit or constantly having to sharpen. That's just me and my experience. I usually use eyeliners like that in the waterline, so that doesn't bother me. I will say if you're trying to get an eyeliner that's really soft, that you're going to easily be able to line the top lash line, this formula might not be it. I quickly scooched back out. I didn't want to be right in your face screaming to end this video, but overall I love this collection. The eyeshadow palettes, the eyeliners, the Feline Flick. Everything is amazing. I love how she took color theory, a concept that makeup artists have been using for years and years, and she simplified it and she made the concept so that everybody can apply it themselves. Everything makes sense. And now it seems sort of obvious and hard to believe that it hasn't been done a million times before, but I can't think of another brand or luxury collection that has done something similar and played off of color theory. I know when you go to the drugstore, I think drugstore brands do a better job of breaking down color theory and really simplifying it for the consumer. And in any training with any brand that I've ever done, they always teach color theory because as the makeup artist, you have to be able to make recommendations and know what colors look good on people so that when you're applying eyeshadow, you can both teach the person in your chair, but also you just know for yourself. I think it is brilliant. I love the collection. And that completes today's review. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and it helped distract you. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, your questions down below. I love hearing from you guys, so be sure to share your thoughts down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything that I have today on my face, down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.